Why is Trump obsessed with his ballroom? Well, let me, Callum, an architect, answer your question.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie and Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
Well, the easiest way to answer this is to look back in history. Trump is by no means the first political leader to care about architecture. There was King Louis XIV, who ordered not only the construction of Hotel des Invalides, but also the Palace of Versailles. Even Mussolini in 1922 ordered public construction projects to build his new Rome, which ultimately created the rational architecture movement in Italy. There are so many more than we can talk about in this video. So why are so many political figures obsessed with architecture? Perhaps a different question, one with the same answer. Why has this channel been more and more political lately? It's simple. Architecture is political. Don't believe me? Well, let's do a test. Think of some architecture for me. What is it that you can see in your mind's eye? Well, I can, with near perfect accuracy, tell you that you are not thinking of your own home. You are not thinking of someone in the slums of London during the Industrial Revolution, or a wattle and daub home for a peasant in medieval Europe. If I hazard a guess, you are thinking of a manor house, cathedrals or temples, maybe even castles, perhaps places of entertainment. Each and every one of these places that you consider to be architecture were all at one point of time a place of power. Architecture is a projection of power. It is a physical manifestation of those who hold power, allowing for their power to be felt amongst its presence. So Trump's demolition of a wing of the White House in order to erect this ballroom that he is obsessed with is ultimately an act of Trump projecting power. And this is especially the case for Trump. After all, the man is a real estate mogul. I mean, not an exactly successful one, seeing as he went bankrupt 6 times. Like, to bankrupt a casino is truly just impressive levels of competence. It stands testament that Trump identifies power in buildings far more than the average Joe. And why wouldn't he? It's where all his wealth and fame came from before the presidency. But Trump never did this in his first term, so why now? Well, you may not have realized, but this obsession with architecture is not new for the Trump White House either. On the 22nd of December 2020, he signed an executive order titled Promoting Beautiful Federal Civic Architecture, which, Mr. President, can I just say, that is a terrible name. This executive order essentially states that all federal buildings must be built in classical Greek, Roman, or similar styles. This consecutive order caused a Pulitzer Prize-winning architect, Paul Goldberg, to state that mandating of an official style is not fully compatible with the 21st century liberal democracy. Classical buildings for Trump are a little weird. After all, his buildings are famous for looking like someone vomited gold on a modern skyscraper. The thing is, classical architecture has its own unique interpretation in the public's understanding among styles of architecture. It is the style of architecture that denotes power. To this day, when you think of a bank, how many of you think of a building with 4 columns leading up to an architrave? It's important to note another reaction that was invoked by Trump's original executive order. Phineas Harper, a former deputy director of the Architecture Association, said, "Regardless of history, classical aesthetics have become a dog whistle for a certain pocket of nationalists, a code for whiteness." Nevertheless, it only took till February for Biden, after he came into power, for him to get rid of this executive order. Trump, being a man who doesn't like being told no, on his second term, the first day he took office, he put in a presidential action called Promoting Beautiful Civic Architecture, which gave the General Services Administration 60 days to come up with recommendations to advance the idea of traditional classical architecture in federal buildings. Then, 30 weeks later, Trump signed a new executive order called Making Federal Architecture Beautiful Again. MAFBA. There we go, Mr. President. Now that is a title, a huge improvement on the first one, I must say. Maybe you should use that format more often. I don't know, like how about maybe make America healthy again? Or I don't know, maybe make America great again. I don't know, I just like the ring to it. It sounds good. The new executive order states applicable federal buildings should uplift and beautify public spaces, inspire the human spirit, ennoble the United States, and command respect from the general public. And architecture, particularly traditional and classical architecture, that meets the criteria set forth in this subsection is the preferred architecture for applicable federal buildings. So the ballroom is not Trump's only obsession with architecture in his presidency. But I don't think the fact his original executive order was gotten rid of is the only reason causing him to go so gung-ho on architecture. I think it also stems from an active insecurity on Trump's behalf around temporariness. Trump, more than most presidents, understands that his term will come to an end, having already lost his second campaign, ignoring the fact he seems like he'll run for a third or just extend the second.
So you say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake.
You like this idea?
Yeah.
But on top of this, Trump is also a 79-year-old man, and not a healthy one to say the least. It is quite easy to see that he is mentally deteriorating.
Is there a specific time frame you expect the detainees to spend here? Days, weeks, months?
In Florida?
Yes, here at Alligator
I'm going to
Alcatraz.
spend a lot. Look, this is my home state. I love it. I love your government. I love all the people around. These are all friends of mine. They know them very well. I mean, I'm not surprised that they do so well. They're great people. Ron has been a friend of mine for a long time. I feel very comfortable in the state. I'll spend a lot of time here.
Not as quickly as Brandon, that's for sure, but that's ignoring all the other health scares he's seemingly been the subject of, such as the bruising on his hand and the disappearing for a week. And we shouldn't forget the fact he survived 2 assassination attempts and witnessed a much younger man with similar beliefs as himself get assassinated. Trump is now, more than ever, fully aware of his own mortality and temporariness at this moment. But what isn't temporary? What can stand the test of time beyond any human body, beyond any lineage buildings? The Triumphal Arch of Orange is one of the oldest Roman triumphal arches still in existence, originally built under the reign of Emperor Augustus to honour the veterans who fought and won the Gallic War. The date we have for its earliest construction is between 27 BC and 14 AD, meaning this building may have existed for over 2,000 years. Trump wants a legacy of his rule, something that he can stand for 2 millennia after he's gone to showcase how powerful he once was. You don't believe me? Well, Trump wants to build his own fucking Roman Triumphal Arch to commemorate the 250th year of the United States, which is already being dubbed as Arc de Trump. So why is Trump obsessed with this ballroom? Because it projects power. It shows to the people of the United States that he can deface, demolish, and alter the country's most recognizable landmark to remake it in his image, an image he wants to last far beyond his own mortality. That is it. Thank you for watching the video. I decided to do this one pretty quickly. I somewhat rushed this one out as I think it's a pretty topical thing to be discussing. And I had plenty of people in my own personal life asking me this question. So I figured there would be a lot of others like yourselves that would also be looking for the answer to this question. So the production on the other videos that I'm currently working on was not really slowed down by the production of this video. And I can stay within a month or so, I should be dropping another video. So I'll see you again soon.